Hello friends, welcome to this lecture of data structure and algorithm design. In this lecture, we are going to take more examples related to the big O asymptotic notation. As we had discussed in our lecture that when we say big O, so big O basically has a definition for two running time as which simply means in mathematical terms that it is always less than equal to CGN. And through the limit definition we mean that n tends to infinity if we express Fn and Gn in this term in this way, then we are going to obtain the value either as 0 or finite. So these are the three important definitions with regard to big O asymptotic notation. So let us discuss more example to understand this thing. We will use a straightforward idea of this definition, this second definition, to solve our problem. Fine. We have three basic points related to the big O notation, but out of these we will make use of this expression as a straightforward idea to solve our all problems related to the big O notation. So if we take the first example as, suppose I say that n is, if the expression is this thing, then it is justifiable that n is always less than equal to log n. That means this is totally true. It is true. Fine. Let us take second example. If I say root n order of n, we can understand that it is justifiable that root n is always less than n. This means it is also true. But if I say n order root n, then we can understand that n is less than equal to root n is totally not justifiable. That means this expression is false. Clear? So next is, if we take 2n plus 1 and so we can express it in this way also. 2n into 2 is less than equal to 2n. Since we don't have to consider the constant value while determining the asymptotic notation running time, so this simply means 2n is less than equal to 2n, and it is completely justifiable. That means it is also true. But if we take the example something like this, so what we can say about this, so it is easily observable that if I write this thing in this fashion, then we can simply neglect it and we simply obtain the relation as this, and it can be seen that this can never be true. Hence we can say it is also false. Fine. We can take more example, like if I say log n order of log n. So we can understand that log n can never be less than log of log n, because it would be much smaller value as compared to the log n. So this is not also true, hence this expression is also false. Fine, that is the idea. Let us take more example. Let us take more example related to it. Suppose if we are given to take example as, if we are given to a problem like 2 raised to power n order of n factorial. So in order to solve this problem, let us substitute some value for that. If we consider 1 and 1 factorial, it comes out to be 2 is not greater than equal to 1. If we take 2 raised to power 2, it would be 4, which is still not less than equal to 2. If we take 2 raised to power 3, then again it is not true. But if I take the value as this thing, then we obtain the result as 24, and we know it is completely justifiable. If we keep increasing the value of n, we can simply observe that there is a much difference between the 2 raised to power n and n factorial, and so on. If we take if we want to generalize it, if we take the value up to n, then we can simply conclude that 2n come out to be n factorial. So this is a generalized expression, and on the basis of this idea, we can simply say that it is completely justifiable to say that. Right? It is a very important example. Clear? So we can further take more example. If we take n factorial as the order of n raised to power n, fine. So we can again substitute some values to generalize the expression. So n factorial, if I take 1 factorial, 1 raised to power n, this implies 1 is less than equal to 1. If we take 2 factorial and 2 raised to power 2, it can be seen that it is justifiable. If we take 3 factorial, again we can see that it is completely justifiable. If we take this value, then we can say sorry, it is I'm taking 2 here now. It would be 3 raised to power 3, and it would be 27. If we take 4 into 4, it would be much more greater than, if we consider it 4 into 4, this is 64, and 64 we can obtain the value as 4 4 16, so 56. That would be 94096, and we can see there is a much difference between 24 and 4096. So if we keep checking the value up to the n factorial, we are in position to generalize that n factorial would always be less than n, and we can say it is completely justifiable to say that n factorial is less than n. Fine? So I think this would also be clear to you. Fine? from these two conclusion, from these two examples that we have done here, we can conclude that 2n is always less than n factorial is always less than equal to nn. Fine. And even if we apply log over these, what we can obtain? Log 2n is less than log n factorial is less than log n. So we can say that this n would come here and it would be log 2 it would be log n factorial. This n would come here. Fine. So we know this is nothing but it is equal to 1. So in generalization, if we generalize it, what we would obtain? We would obtain this important result. Fine. We obtain this important result. So in exam, if it comes that n is the order of, suppose a question comes out to be, how the question would be asked? The question would be asked that if f1 is log n, f2 is n, and f3 is n log n. Fine. Then what would be the correct order? What would be the correct increasing order? Increasing order of running time given by each function. Of each function. So if the question comes out to be like that, so what we can do? Very simple and straightforward approach. We can use this relation to arrange it. Fine. We can conclude that f2 is less than equal to f1 is less than equal to f3. Fine. So this would be the increasing order for this problem. Fine. So we can discuss the next other kind of the asymptotic notation in our next lecture. Fine.